Hello, everyone. Well, we are in Module 8. We are in the very last week of this semester, and good for you. This has not been easy. This is a fast-paced class, and it includes a whole lot of information. And so you've been doing well if you've made it this far. So Module 8 is where we have our final peer review for our writing project 3, and we're going to be submitting our final writing project 3. I have also added some learning materials that have been provided earlier in the semester also, but they're going to be really relevant during this week, so I have included them here. I'm not going to open all of them up, but I will mention them. First, we have the handouts on introductions and conclusions. These are short handouts. They're out of the University of North Carolina, and so there's a few, Tar Heel references in them, but they are some of the most excellent handouts on writing effective introductions and conclusions I've come across. Please open them up and look at them, read them. I would download them and save them because they are that helpful, and we will be needing them for the peer review. So make sure you read those. Hopefully by now you've also read over all of the information on integrating sources into our writing. So the most effective way is through paraphrasing, putting it into your own words while still citing or mentioning and attributing the authors, okay, of the source that you got it from. But quoting can be very powerful also, as long as it's done selectively and intentionally. And we're quoting quote-worthy material, not chunks of material, okay? And so here is that handout or the page where it has the video on integrating quotes with swag. Again, we will need that for the peer review and also just as a refresher course. I don't know what just happened to my screen. Maybe you didn't realize that. But my screen just did something quick, weird. So formatting here is just some last minute tips on how to format a works cited page. And I include some tricks using, Word document tools that can be really helpful. So I suggest looking over that. That's just a quick video. But let's get into the peer review. So the peer review, because this is the last week of the semester, and I have literally pushed this due date back as far as possible. The semester ends this weekend, so I cannot accept anything after Thursday night. And so please get these in there on time. Be mindful of the due dates. And so this peer review is going to start Tuesday, but it's going to start Tuesday at 10 a.m. because we don't have much time to get these finished, and I want y'all to get some feedback from one another and be able to examine one another's work. And so you're going to be attaching that file here. We've done this the same manner that we've done before. You're going to be attaching it to this conversation, this discussion board, by 10 a.m. Within just a couple minutes, you're all going to be assigned one peer, and here is the peer review sheet. I'm going to open that up really quickly. And you are going to be generous. Remember, these peer reviews, we are not, first of all, you're talking to one another. You're not talking to me. So keep that in mind when you fill these out. And the purpose of them is not to correct, not to edit or anything like that. It's to help one another. It is impossible for us to know how our writing is coming along and how clear it is without getting feedback from somebody else, because we fill in the blanks with our mind. We know what we are trying to say. But a reader can't read our minds. And so the only thing they have to go by is what's on the page. And so it's really important to get other people's eyes on our pages so they can tell us what is clear, what they need more of, and help one another produce our best and most effective writing. All right? And so be generous. I'm asking you to answer these questions with at least, 4 sentences, and be specific. I mean, be like, okay, on page 2, the second paragraph down, mention a quote there. So be that specific. Help one another. Don't just say, hey, looks great, because that is not helping one another at all. If something does look great, tell them why. So first of all, I'm going to ask you to look at the thesis and paraphrase it. The reason I ask you to paraphrase it is so that then when the author gets this paper back, they'll be able to look at your paraphrase and think, oh my gosh, that's not at all what I meant. And so then they will know I'm not being clear enough. I need to revise this and make it a little bit more clear. So answer all of these questions, all of these prompts. What do you expect to learn? Based on that thesis, Does the essay actually fulfill that promise of the thesis? Does it stay aligned to that thesis from beginning to end? Next is looking at that synthesis of sources. So we're bringing in sources not to write the essay for us, right? But to support points of information that we are previously mentioning, okay? So even in an informative essay, sources are used as evidence. So mention the sources, write down the sources on this side, on the left side, and then on the right side, explain what those sources are doing. I mean, are they incorporated well? Are they explained? Or are they just dropped in and assuming that the reader is going to get why they are there? Okay, we need to talk about our sources, talk about quotes, talk about information from sources so that our reader understands why they are being given them. Look at the introductions and conclusions. So here's where I'm asking you to go back to those handouts, look at those handouts on introductions and conclusions, and offer some tips. Is there a thesis? Does the introduction open with a bridge that invites the reader in? Does the conclusion end with a bridge that gives the reader something to take with them out into the world? So that will make more sense if you read the handouts. So offer some information there, some feedback, and then look at those quotes. Make sure there aren't any dropped quotes. Make sure that your classmate is attributing the speaker always in the sentence and not just in an in-text citation whenever there's a quote. Are they preparing the reader for the quote? Are they responding to that quote and explaining it and clarifying it and connecting it to the point that they're making? Make sure they're integrated. And finally, offer a few lines on your impressions, your final impressions, the good, what's working well, some specifics and general comments or suggestions, and that's it, okay? And then get that posted to your classmates' original post here within 24 hours, so Wednesday morning, so people have enough time to read over them and work on their final revisions. And then here's where we're going to be turning in the final essay by Thursday night, okay? Before you do so, please read the thesis. Okay, that is exactly what I'm going to be giving feedback, what I'm going to be grading on. So you look at it first and you do a little self-grading, a little self-checking. Okay, do I meet all of these points? Are they all in there? Have I remembered that works cited page that are full of citations, not links, but full MLA citations? Read over that. Again, I am going to be online during my Zoom office hours this week on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons between 2 and 3. Drop in if you have questions. Let me know if you want any feedback on anything ahead of time from me. I'm here to help you, but understand that this class ends on Friday, so you need to get this in by Thursday night. There's no possibility of extensions for this project, all right? All right, have a great week. Good luck with everything.